Stop for a moment and think about this. Every month when your paycheck hits your account, what do you feel? Relief, anxiety, the urge to spend it all at once. Many people see their salary as a fence, something that limits them, that defines how far they can go. But thinking this way means you've already lost the game. Robert Kiyosaki says the opposite. Your salary isn't the finish line. It's the starting point. It's the raw material for your financial freedom. Look at it this way. Imagine you receive buckets of water every month. Some people only use that water to put out fires, debts, overdue bills, impulsive expenses. But others use the same buckets to water a seed, to build something lasting, something that grows and multiplies over time. That's what your salary is, a tool. The amount doesn't matter, what you do with it does. If you begin to see your paycheck as fuel instead of a fence, everything changes. You're not stuck with that number, you're starting with it. And that's where transformation begins. You know that feeling of, once I earn more, everything will get better? It's one of the most dangerous traps out there. The truth is harsh, but it must be said, if you don't know how to handle a little, you won't know how to handle a lot either. Robert Kiyosaki calls this the rat race. It's when people earn more, but immediately start spending more. Their lifestyle increases along with their income. The car changes, the phone changes, the clothes, restaurants, monthly bills. Everything grows except their net worth. It's like filling a bucket full of holes. No matter how much you pour in, it never fills up. Let me tell you about Marcos. He started earning a small income, but gradually climbed the career ladder. Each promotion brought a raise, and each raise brought new expenses. When he earned $1,000, he lived paycheck to paycheck. When he started making $5,000, he still lived paycheck to paycheck, only now with credit card debt and a car loan. He thought the problem was the size of his salary, but the real problem was his behavior. Here's the secret. Don't raise your spending just because your income increased. Instead of rushing to upgrade your lifestyle, upgrade your financial intelligence. Want to really move forward? Then maintain the same standard of living even when your income grows, and invest the difference. That's what wealthy people do. Most people think they lack money, when in reality, they lack organization. Robert Kiyosaki is clear about this. It doesn't matter how much you earn. If you don't know where your money is going, you'll always be broke. The truth is, many people live in the dark when it comes to personal finances. They know how much comes in, but have no idea how much goes out or where it goes. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're filling a bucket, but it has several tiny holes at the bottom. You don't see the water escaping, but the bucket is always empty. That's exactly how money behaves when you don't have a budget. But relax, it doesn't have to be complicated. A good starting point is the 50-30-20 rule. 50% for basic needs, rent, utilities, transportation, food. 30% for lifestyle and leisure, pizza on the weekend, a movie, small purchases. 20% for investments and savings. This is your future. This isn't a prison, it's a map. The difference between those who move forward and those who stay stuck is how each one chooses to use what they have. And your budget is your steering wheel. With it, you drive. Without it, you're just being driven. Want freedom tomorrow? Then start taking control today. You know that sudden urge to buy something you don't even need? The store window calls, the sale screams, and the card slides. This is the silent enemy of your financial freedom, impulse. And the problem isn't the size of the purchase, it's the habit you're forming. Every impulsive purchase is like a small cut. Alone, it seems harmless, but when added up, it can leave you financially bleeding. Robert Kiyosaki warns, it's not the big purchases that destroy your budget, it's the small, frequent, unnecessary ones. Take Vanessa's story. She used to say, it's just a coffee a day, it's just a cheap blouse on sale, it's just one delivery on the weekend. That just became a routine, and that routine turned into a big hole. When she added up a month's worth of small expenses, she was shocked. What seemed small was costing her nearly a third of her salary. Impulse spending is dangerous because it comes disguised as a reward. We buy to ease a tough day, to feel better, to follow a trend, or just because we're bored. But before buying anything, stop and ask, do I really need this, or am I just trying to fill a void? Will this bring me value in a week and in a year? If the answer is no, breathe. Wait, leave the store, close the site, go for a walk. You can even write it down and revisit it in 24 or 48 hours. In 90% of cases, the urge disappears. Spending less is not about depriving yourself. It's about protecting yourself. If you want to build wealth, you need to learn to control your impulses. Because those who live under the rule of impulse never live in freedom. This is one of Robert Kiyosaki's most powerful and most ignored lessons by people on financial autopilot. Pay yourself first. But what does that mean? It means that the first person to receive money when your paycheck hits should be you, not the bank, not the credit card company, not the store with a clearance sale. You. Before paying any bills, set aside at least 10% of your income to build your future. That money can go into an emergency fund, an investment, a personal project, anything that will grow your money over time. Many people do the opposite. They pay everything first, and if there's anything left, then they invest. But guess what? There's never anything left. Let me tell you about Eduardo. He didn't earn much. He lived with his wife and 2 small children. Every payday, it was a rush to pay the bills. After that, he'd always say, "Next month, I'll start saving." But next month always came the same, and nothing changed. Until one day he heard this phrase, "The poor spend and then see if they can save. The rich save and then see how much they can spend." That hit home. Eduardo decided to automate 10% of his salary into a separate account. It didn't matter if he had a lot or a little. That portion was his, for his future. Over time, it started growing, and along with it, something new grew: security. He stopped being a hostage to the next paycheck. He started investing, got more interested in finances, and even explored new income sources. Paying yourself first is a commitment. It's like telling yourself, "I believe in my future, and I'm going to take care of it with discipline." Even if it seems like a small amount, start with what you can. The important thing is building the habit, because someone who can't save $100 won't save $1,000 either. Debt, when misused, is an invisible chain. You may be moving, but you're not going anywhere. Robert Kiyosaki explains that owing money isn't the issue. The issue is what you're borrowing for. In other words, going into debt for things that lose value, disappear, or depreciate the moment you buy them. A classic example, a brand new $1,000 phone on a 12-month installment plan, while your electricity bill is overdue and you have no emergency fund. It may sound extreme, but it happens every day. Why? Because we were taught to see credit as an extension of income, but it's not. Your credit card limit is not your money, it's a trap if you're not in control. Let me tell you about Camilla. She always had a good job, but lived in debt. She bought impulsively, financed trips, clothes, electronics. At one point, more than half her income went to monthly payments and interest. Then she heard a phrase that changed everything. "You're paying today for yesterday's pleasure and compromising tomorrow." It hurt, but it woke her up. She decided to stop, cut up her credit card, renegotiated debts, sold what she didn't use, and made a promise. She'd only buy with cash, and only what was essential or strategic. In 2 years, she got out of debt and started investing. Here's the truth. Good debt is the kind that brings a return, like a course that increases your salary or an investment that generates income. The rest, it just holds you back. Avoid long-term installments at all costs. Say no to just this once. And above all, never spend money you don't yet have. Financial freedom doesn't mix with revolving interest. There's a limit to how much you can cut expenses, but there's no limit to how much you can increase your income. Robert Kiyosaki always says, don't complain about your salary. Become so valuable that they can't ignore you. And that's not just advice, it's a mindset shift. Many people spend years trying to save every penny. And yes, that's important, but there comes a point when cutting costs won't get you any further. That's when the game of multiplication begins. Imagine this, you're trying to fill a bucket using a tiny cup. No matter how fast you work, it'll take forever. But if you get a shovel, a hose, something bigger, the effort continues, but the result changes completely. The same goes for your income. If you keep using the same tool as always, the same salary, the same one job, the same schedule, your results will always be the same. Now let me tell you Raphael's story. He was a ride-share driver, worked 10 to 12 hours a day. When he heard people talk about investing or financial freedom, he thought that was just for rich people. Until one day, he listened to a podcast about earning extra income and decided to give it a try. He started by selling homemade snacks at night with his wife. Then, he began studying digital marketing while waiting for ride requests. 6 months later, he had built a small online store. And before he even realized it, he was making more from the store than from driving. The turning point came when he understood something. No one is going to pay you more just because you want it. But the world will always reward those who deliver more value. So here's the secret. Become more valuable. Learn new skills. Take online courses, read books, study a little every day. But study. Find ways to help more people. Offer a service, sell a product, create something useful. Become indispensable where you are, or go where you'll truly be valued. And if you're already good at something, use it. People are making money today by teaching, writing, organizing, editing, caring, helping. What you know is worth more than you think. In the end, your current income is a direct reflection of the value you provide. And the good news? You can change that at any moment. All it takes is the decision to grow. Many people work hard, deliver results, dedicate themselves, but never have the courage to ask for a raise. And you know what happens to those who never ask? They just wait for recognition, which often never comes. Robert Kiyosaki teaches that people who know their value aren't afraid to negotiate. And negotiating your salary isn't arrogance, it's intelligence. But here's the trick. You can't just ask for the sake of asking. You need evidence, strategy, numbers, results. Let me tell you about Juliana. She had been working at a tech company for 3 years. Always delivered beyond expectations, helped co-workers, solved problems. But her salary stayed the same. One day, she decided enough was enough. She spent 2 weeks putting together a full report of everything she had achieved. Completed projects, concrete results, positive customer feedback, internal improvements she had suggested. She also researched salary averages for her position at other companies in the area and took notes. In the meeting, she didn't make a request, she made a case. She said, "I'm happy here, but I believe my work has delivered more value than my current compensation reflects. I'd like to discuss an adjustment that aligns with my performance and the market." The result? She got a 28% raise, because when you bring data, not just desire, you turn your request into a professional proposal. Here are 3 practical tips to negotiate smartly. Choose the right moment. After a big project or during performance reviews, it's easier to be heard. Present results. No "I think" or "I deserve." Talk numbers, goals achieved, real improvements. Know your market. Research salaries in your area. This gives you a solid foundation to negotiate. Remember, if you don't value your work, no one else will. Have you ever stopped to think what would happen if all of a sudden your salary stopped coming in? The truth is, depending on only one source of income is like riding a bike with one wheel. Any bump in the road, any unexpected event, and everything collapses. Robert Kiyosaki teaches that the wealthy never rely on just one income stream. They always create new ones. Why? Because it brings security, freedom, and more opportunities. But don't worry, you don't have to start big. You can start small with what you already have. Know something you could teach? Create an online course or offer private lessons. Love to cook? Make and sell meals, desserts, bread. Have things at home collecting dust? Sell them. Have skills in crafts, sewing, repairs, painting, video editing? Use them. Today, with the internet, you can make money in countless ways. Some people earn income through videos, affiliate marketing, dropshipping, digital products, or online consulting. And many of them started with very little, using spare time after work. The key is understanding this. Your salary can pay the bills, but your side income can change your life. Don't wait until you have time. Make time. Start on weekends, at night, even just 1 hour a day. Little by little, what started small begins to grow. And over time, you'll realize you don't have to depend on anyone to feel financially secure. People with more than one source of income sleep better at night. Every month, when money hits your account, you have two choices. Use it just to survive, or use it to build your future. Most people spend their entire paycheck on bills. They work all month just to end at zero and start all over again the next month. It becomes a never-ending cycle, but Robert Kiyosaki gives an important warning. If you don't turn part of your salary into investment, you'll spend your whole life working for others and never for yourself. And what does it mean to invest? Investing isn't just about putting money in the stock market. Investing means taking part of what you earn and planting it in something that will grow. It can be a course that improves your resume, a book that opens your mind, an emergency fund that gives you peace of mind, your own business, or yes, financial investments like fixed income, stocks or real estate funds. You don't need to know everything right now, and you don't need to start with a lot. It could be $20, $50, or $100. What really matters is building the habit, because those who learn to invest today will harvest freedom tomorrow. So here's the question. Are you just paying bills, or are you building something with your money? And now tell me, after everything we've talked about, how have you been using your salary? You can leave this video and keep living on autopilot, working, paying bills, repeating the same cycle month after month. Or you can choose to do things differently. You can use every dollar more wisely. It doesn't matter how much you earn today. What matters is what you do with what you have. Remember, wealth doesn't begin with luck, it begins with a decision. And you've just taken the first step by changing the way you look at money. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it too. Maybe a friend, a relative, someone in debt or feeling discouraged. Sometimes one simple conversation is all it takes to change an entire future. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, now's the time. Every week we bring real, practical content for those who want to grow with strategy, clarity, and truth. Like this video, drop a comment below sharing what impacted you the most. And get ready, because your journey to financial freedom is just getting started. See you in the next video.